Hi everyone, I'm Gabby.
And I'm Jay.
And this is our journey to retire all over. On this channel, we are sharing our experience as we get ready to retire in 6 years or so, and then spend the rest of our lives exploring the world. But to get there, we knew life would have its challenges, and today we have one to share. But first, please hit the like button to help us with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever we post new content.
So it's one of those things you hope you'd never have to deal with, but we sometimes have to. I got laid off from my company. Due to the pandemic and global market slowdowns, my company has made the decision that there have to be some reductions in force, or RIFs, which is just a nice way of saying layoffs. I'm not going to lie, no matter when things like this happen, it hits you like a freight train. I've been spending the past week training my replacement and helping my team prepare for the departure. Mentally and emotionally, this is taking a pretty big toll on me, and my focus right now is on taking care of my mental health to move through the 5 stages of grief. And it's important to remember that this is a loss and should be treated like one. Far too often we still shun or don't talk about the mental and emotional side of these things. I'm glad it's becoming more common, but it still needs way more attention. For myself, to help cope with this, I've revived parts of my old exercise regime, bike riding in the morning and stretching multiple times a day. Physical activity is actually pretty key in me helping keep my spirits up. I also have a therapist I speak with regularly to help keep things into perspective. But the loss of my health insurance is particularly troubling to me, as I'm only going to be able to see my therapist as long as I continue to have health insurance. That's a really big problem here in the US, and we're exploring ways to help make sure I don't have any lapses in coverage. But all my friends and family have been super supportive, and Gabby especially has been amazing through all this. With the rest of my day, though, I'm constantly searching job boards, I'm connecting with my network, I'm calling hiring managers, recruiters, attending training sessions or virtual networking events, and generally trying to keep myself as busy as I can. It's also given me some time to learn a little bit more about baking. I made a lovely banana cream pie the other day for the first time ever. Things like baking means I have definitely to exercise more. The biggest help is just having a routine. Looking for a job is now my full-time job, so I approach it as I do with my regular workday. Get up, exercise, shower, and get dressed as though I'm going to work. These little habits help put me in the right mindset for work. I did spend a little time having a pity party for myself when it first happened. I slept late and just sat around in my pajamas all day. I quickly realized how self-defeating that is. If you plan for your day to be a waste, then it will be. If you plan for your day to be meaningful, it will be. I choose to make these days meaningful and accomplish something important to me each day.
Absolutely. So, what does this mean for our plan? Well, it means that we have to be flexible. It's all about rearranging priorities. We talk a lot about being flexible in our goals for retiring all over, and this situation is one that really forced us to put our money where our mouths are, or at least our flexibility to the test. In order to approach this strategically, first we needed to establish our timeline to ensure we don't impact our long-term goals more than absolutely necessary. We have divided our timeline from Jay's last day employed to when he will receive his last paycheck to the last day he can claim unemployment benefits and beyond that. After looking at our budget and doing some math, we decided to treat each stretch of time with different levels of measures. The first stretch, from the last employment day to the last paycheck, we are calling the proactive stage. Since we will still be earning both of our incomes here, these measures are just to ensure we build financial liquidity to prepare for the times ahead. Here we will reduce our entertainment budget to half, which is mainly our eating out expenses. Our shopping budget will also go down 50%, and house cleaning and personal care will have to go to zero, so no more manicures or haircuts for now.
We'll stop putting money towards our travel fund, and obviously travel will halt. But more importantly, our after-tax investments will also stop. Again, the goal of the proactive stage is to accumulate cash in order to be prepared. On the next stretch, if we have to get there, we will have to tighten things up even more. Here we'll cancel the gym membership and streaming services and stop making the extra mortgage payments on the rental property we own. Also, the entertainment and shopping budgets will be cut in half again, so only critical purchases and emergency situations. During this stretch, our lease will also be up, so moving to a smaller or cheaper place will definitely be on the table. Unemployment benefits last a maximum of 26 weeks or 6 months. Here I'll also have to evaluate the possibility of getting any job as long as it pays the same or more than unemployment, since you can't be both employed and get unemployment, and allows the flexibility I need to continue looking for a job, maybe Uber or Instacart, we'll see. Filing for unemployment as soon as possible is very important unless you already have a new job lined up. It usually takes weeks to months to process your eligibility and then to start receiving payments. If you don't keep a lot of cash on hand, that can be critical.
On the last stretch, which wouldn't have a clear end in sight, we would definitely tighten things up to the max. At this point, we would have to completely do away with both our entertainment and shopping budgets, only spending on the necessities. This will ensure we can support ourselves with just one income and continue to save. Of course, through all this, we'll have to start focusing harder on shopping sales at the grocery stores, using coupons, and closely watching our overall spending.
So, how does this impact our journey to retire all over? Well, Gabby will still have her pre-tax 403B and teacher's retirement savings. We're not changing that at all. We'll just no longer be able to contribute to my 401k or to our post-tax savings, at least until we get back on track. We were saving over 40% of our salaries in both tax-advantaged and non-tax-advantaged accounts, so losing an entire salary will definitely put a dent in our savings. How big of a dent will depend on how long the job search takes. We're committed to keeping to our austerity measures until we not only save the amounts we had missed savings, but until we make up the missed interest too.
Some of you may be asking, why are we doing this tiered approach? Why not just jump to the extreme saving portion? And that's a great question. There are a few factors that have led us down this particular path.
First, the job market for the type of work I do is still very strong. I'm in IT and I have a very diverse background and in-depth skill set, so we really hope that I'll be back working soon.
Second is quality of life and the effect that has on our mental health. With the pandemic, we've all had to come up with new ways to keep our spirits up. We are not willing to abandon those before it's really necessary. Bottom line, my salary is enough for both of us to live on. And we know how fortunate we are. That's not true for everyone. If that was not the case, we would approach it differently. But at the end of the day, flexibility is a critical skill to keep sharp, especially when you're planning to retire all over the world.
Absolutely. And these unexpected setbacks are part of what makes this journey an adventure.
Do you have any advice? Any words of wisdom for us?
And if you're going through something similar, is there any way we can help? Let us know in the comments below. Follow us on social media or our blog at gabbyandjaysjourney.com. Please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell to be notified when we post new content.
Until then, please stay safe, do your part, take care of one another, and thank you for joining us.